Hello all, this is Jenna Crow with another haul video for the week of August 3rd, 2023. We got some comic books to show you, I got a Blu-ray to show you, and I have a figure to show you. So we're going to go with the comic books, and as always I start with DC Comics, and we have City Boy, issue number 3, guest starring Superman. Then we're going to move on to the Night Terrors event. We are now in the first week of the second month, and we have Night Terrors Batman, issue number 2. And I quite liked the first issue. All the heroes and villains are in comas caused by insomnia, the villain, and they're all facing their worst nightmares. Well, Batman, I mean, he's Batman. He fights Scarecrow like every Tuesday, so facing his worst fears is nothing new to him, and I loved how this story took that approach. Like, oh, there's the alley again, oh, there's my folks, oh, there's my mom's pearls, blah blah blah, same old, same old. So that was a really nice twist, and it really fit the character in my eyes. Next up we have Night Terrors Black Adam, issue number 2. Then we have Night Terrors The Joker, issue number 2. This was another fun one, because I love how the Joker's worst nightmare is just to have an ordinary, normal, mundane life. And then we had the freakiest of the Night Terrors miniseries so far, with Night Terrors Poison Ivy, issue number 2. Like I said, freaky. This one, I think, is kind of a bland cover. It doesn't really look like a terror book, but this is Night Terrors Ravager, issue number 2. This one was pretty much straightforward. Then we have, we're done with the Night Terrors, and we got one more DC book, and it is Steelworks, issue number 3, and this is another one, guest starring Superman. Okay, now we're going to move on to Marvel Comics, and we have the return of Hallows' Eve in the Amazing Spider-Man Annual, issue number 1, and she'll be back again with her own Halloween special, I guess it's a holiday special, in October with the big night. But in the meantime, she's going back to being a pain in the butt for old Spider-Man. Then we have the first issue of Death of the Venomverse, and basically Carnage, or like this soup up Carnage right here, is going through the multiverse, killing all the Venoms, all the variants of Venoms. So all those new Venoms we were introduced in Extreme Venomverse, well, we're going to say goodbye to them now. But this is a really cool cover. I really like this design for Carnage. I'm not really a fan of Carnage in general, though, but as long as he's presented as a villain, I'm fine with that. I just had no interest in his ongoing series, because that's the same reason I don't usually read like the Joker, other than the Night Terrors book. I just certain characters, certain villains, they can work as anti-heroes, but there's other villains like these guys which are completely irredeemable. They are just straight up villains. I don't want to see them in an anti-hero role. I don't want to see them in a protagonist role, so I skip those books. But as an antagonist, sure, why not? Moving on, we have Moon Knight, issue number 26, with Hunter's Moon right there on the cover. And there's something new from Jonathan Hickman in the works. Doesn't look that interesting to me, to be honest. But I am reading this book because it is written by Jet McKay, and this run has been excellent, just simply excellent. Then we have Scarlet Witch, issue number 7. Going through a little Wizard of Oz, because she's on the yellow brick road there. Interesting. Now we move on to Image Comics, and we have Quest, issue number 1, the latest series from Jonathan Luna. Big fan of Jonathan Luna from way back in the day when he was still doing these books with his brother, the Luna brothers, with Girls, Ultra, The Sword, and you know, I've enjoyed all of them. I'm glad to have a series again. Last couple of projects from Jonathan Luna were just one-shots, self-contained one-shots, but I'm looking forward to this. Looks to be, well, going by the title, it's quest fantasy epic, but it looks like it's got kind of a Polynesian thing going, maybe. So I'm curious about it, and we'll see where it goes. We got some kaiju in the background too. Another new series from Image Comics. We have The Sacrificers, issue number 1. This is the newest series from Rick Remender. It tends to be a mixed bag for me. I can't remember the last time I've actually finished a Remender series. Probably Strange Girl, which is way back, like 20 years ago. I think the last one I tried was Low, and I lasted about 4 issues before I lost interest in it. But the premise, this one seemed interesting, if not grim. It's basically these bird-like people live in a utopia, and it's perfect, but there's a cost. And their gods, or their equivalents thereof, they have to sacrifice their children, one of their children, to them in a allotted time period, time frame, I should say. And that's what this series is about, The Sacrificers. But I'll give it a shot. I'll give it at least 3 issues to win me over. If not, it'll just be another Remender series that I never finish. Lastly, for Image Comics, we have The Walking Dead Deluxe, issue number 68. We're still on the road to Alexandria, and we have Aaron right there on the cover. They're a little untrusting of him. Understandably so, after dealing with the governor and the hunters, so, yep. Now we move on to Dynamite. We have a blast from my past. Actually, I got quite a few blasts from my past in the comic call this week. But we have Fire and Ice, issue number 1. This is based off of the animated film, the rotoscoped animated film from Ralph Bakshi back in the 80s. It was a sword and sorcery epic. The Dark Wolf there. I can't remember her name. But I looked at the artwork so far. It looks very reminiscent of that animated film, as it should, really. And I'm looking forward to checking this out, reading this, seeing if the original movie is not an all-time classic or anything story-wise, but it's definitely visually impressive. And like I said, I love fantasy and the barbarians and sword and sorcery, so this stuff is right up my alley anyway. Then we have Gargoyles issue number 8 with Angela and Bronx right there on the cover. It's been a really good series so far, really good. From Titan Comics, we have some more Barbarian action with The Barbarian, Conan the Barbarian, issue number 1. Brand new series, now being published from Titan. They have the license now. Previously, Marvel had the license. I kind of skipped all of the Marvel Conan books for those few years that they had it. Last time I read a Conan book was when Dark Horse had the license for it. I still wait for the day when Conan and Red Sonja are back under the same umbrella again, because I mean they're supposed to be in the same shared universe, but it's always weird because in the Red Sonja books they'll sometimes reference Conan without actually saying him by name because they can't, and Conan does the same where they'll in his books they'll reference Red Sonja without saying her name, and it's like I kind of just want them to straight up team up or cross paths more often. But one day the Hyborian world will be whole again. Then we move on to Robotech Rick Hunter issue number 1. This is yet another blast from my past because I was like in kindergarten when I watched this cartoon. Which, that's not your typical kindergarten fare, to say the least. But Robotech, this was one of 3 animes that were adapted. This was back before us Americans really had any idea what anime was. They adapted Super Dimensional Fortress Macross, which is one of my all-time classic favorite mecha anime, right up there with the original Gundam. And then I think They also adapted Super Dimensional Cavalry Southern Cross and Genesis Climber Most Piata. 3 completely unrelated anime. They merged them into one narrative, and that was Robotech. Carl Masick did that along with the company Harmony Gold. And this is a continuation. This is not the Macross series, even though there have been Macross comic books before. But this one is set in specifically the Robotech universe. And Rick Hunter, the main character of the original series, right there, at least for the first arc of the original series, which was the arc that adapted Macross. And we have Lin May right there. So we look forward to checking this one out. That is it for the comic books. I do have one Blu-ray here. I've been pretty much getting a Death Crocodile release every month, and this past week was no different. We have their July offering, and it is the Pied Piper. It is a Czech stop-motion animation film from 1986 about the classic story, you know, the Pied Piper. You got the rats in the town, and they hire the piper to use his flute to get all the rats to leave the town. He does the job, but they don't want to pay the piper, so the rats come back. And this film uses a combination of stop-motion animation and actual rats. But this is one of the reasons why I love Crocodile, or Death Crocodile, I should say, because it's so creepy. But they, in a cool way, but they keep bringing over cool stuff that I would have never heard of from parts of the world that we don't usually get films from, especially older films. So, I mean, this is from back in the day, at the time this was made, Czechoslovakia, and yeah, it looks really cool. And it's only 51 minutes, so it's just barely a feature-length film. I believe the Academy classifies them, but the 45 minutes is the dividing line. So if the movie is under 45 minutes, it's officially classified as a short film. Over 45 minutes, it's a feature film. So, but anyway, I digress. It's really cool artwork on this slipcover, like Death Crocodile, like all the Vinegar Syndrome partner labels and the Vinegar Syndrome titles themselves. They come with these they have the best slipcovers in the business. Like, they just feel great in your hand. They look beautiful. They come up with the brand new artwork. It's, oh yeah, they look great on the shelf. And the movies, I picked the movies I like, of course. Not everything for, well, most of the Death Crocodile stuff I've got and I've enjoyed. Vinegar Syndrome proper, I haven't been getting a lot of their stuff lately, but anyway, really good title here, The Pied Piper. And lastly, I have a figure here, not a Lightning Collection figure. Those will be a while before I get some more of those, but it will be a while before I get some more of those, I should say. But we have here, from my favorite anime, one of my favorite characters, we have the Funko Pop of Naruto Baryon mode from Boruto Naruto Next Generations. This was the final form that Naruto acquires at great cost from a story arc from a couple of years ago in the anime, maybe 4 years ago in the manga. Here we go with some of the other recent releases. I might try to find Sumire and Shinki because I don't already have them. These are like the second versions of Boruto, Mitsuki, and Sarada that they've released, but I had to get it. This is classified as a 6-inch figure, but if I compare it to a standard 3-inch Funko Pop, you can see that the figure itself is actually in scale with a regular 3-inch Funko Pop figure. It's just that because of all the 9 tails and the effects they got him standing on, he wouldn't fit in a normal box, so they went ahead and made him a full-on 6-inch figure, at least in box size and release. But here is an actual 6-inch figure from the Naruto universe. We have Kurama, which appropriately enough fits right next to Baryon mode. So I'll probably display these two right next to each other. But yeah, I don't get a lot of Funko Pops anymore. I know maybe about 6 years ago, my wife, actually at the time she was my girlfriend, we would routinely go Funko Pop shopping like 3 times a week. We'd just be bored, you know, in the apartment one day, and then say, hey, you want to go to Hot Topic, look for some Funko Pops? We'd go there, go to the mall, check out Hot Topic, check out FYE, even go to Barnes and Noble. We bought a lot of Funko Pops. That was pretty much at the height of that toy line's popularity. We since cooled way off, as a lot of people have, and I just occasionally get one now. Like this is my first one this year. I think last year Kawaki was the only one I got. So more often than not, if I do get a Funko Pop, it's not even for me. My mom's at that age where there's not a whole lot she needs or wants, so it's kind of hard to do Christmas shopping, Mother's Day shopping, birthday shopping for her. So, but she loves a lot of the old cartoons. So she loves, like, say for example, Huckleberry Hound or Quick Draw McGraw. Well, here's a Funko Pop of Huckleberry Hound or Quick Draw McGraw, and she loves them and displays them in her living room. She's not going to buy any for herself, so it's perfect. But anyway, that is it for this week, guys. Thank you for watching this video to the end, as always. I always appreciate comments and likes, if you care to leave any. I'll have another video next week, guys. But until then, there's another video right there. There's one right there. And you can subscribe right there, if you so desire. So later, and